This guided meditation is for adults who identified as male when children. To get the most out of this guided meditation, please ensure that you won't be interrupted for the next 45 minutes or so, and when the session begins, if you would, kindly imagine what I ask you to imagine, and see what I ask you to see. And, most importantly, please listen to the very end of this recording. Good. I'd like you now to close your eyes, to make yourself comfortable where you are right now. And as you do that, simply notice the fact that you are breathing, and just taking the time to become aware of your breath as it flows so naturally allows you already to come inside from the outside world, to turn your focus inwards, and in doing just this, you feel yourself already enter a more receptive state, becoming ready for change, a deep and fundamental change of attitude, of perspective, and therefore of self-acceptance. Good. Now, if you could gradually slow your breathing down by gently extending the length of each breath you take until you find your own easy, comfortable rhythm. That's right. And as you do this, the outside world becomes quietly more distant, so you can come further inside. And as you do, as you begin to relax, you can feel all of the little muscles around your eyes begin to loosen, begin to relax, and as they do, they encourage the tiny little muscles in your eyebrows to do the same, to follow suit and lose tension, to let go. And as you do this, a wonderful feeling of gentle relaxation glides up into your forehead, up into your scalp, and down the back of your head, into your neck, your inner eye closing gladly now, and your vocal cords go to sleep. And as they go to sleep, all remaining inner chatter fades into silence as this wonderful feeling spreads now across your shoulders, bringing with it a more balanced, centered, peaceful sense of being, as your center of consciousness naturally moves downwards towards and into its most comfortable place, your stomach, your middle, the middle of your body, the very center of your being. And as your focus of awareness arrives here now, you just can't help but notice that all remaining stress simply dissolves. All that built-up tension is melting now. All of that daily stuff just slips away, leaving you with such a lovely feeling of simple, untroubled peace. And I wonder if you could imagine a color to go with all these deeply pleasant feelings, a soft color, and perhaps a delicate aroma, and even a texture you associate with peace and relaxation. The color, the scent, the feeling of letting go, of release, of putting it all down at last. And as you allow yourself to do just this, to disconnect and come further inside, you see there in the mirror of your mind a picture beginning to emerge, a picture of 10 broad wooden steps leading downwards, inviting, attractive, appealing, intriguing, and so curious as to just how easy and straightforward all of this is. You take your first step down, simply, safely, and so pleasantly that you take another step down, and then another, each step bringing confidence, reassurance, continuing downwards now, one gentle step after another, already over halfway, descending steadily now, hardly aware of your feet, gliding downwards over the remaining steps, floating now towards that place of deep, deep peace you've sought for so long, too long, slipping now into this beautiful feeling, readily, willingly, because as you are now becoming aware, the deeper you can go, the better this feels. And the better this feels, the deeper you can go. So much deeper, so good. A dreamlike feeling in which colors shimmer and swirl as you cross now over the final step, as you pass through the threshold from waking consciousness into the quiet place, a place of deep personal comfort where you are safe, left in peace now, allowed to be you. No questions to answer, no tasks to perform, and no one to answer to. A state of simple serenity, where dreams are warm and interesting, diverting and different, providing fresh insight, deep understanding, and discovering new ways of seeing all things. Sounds, colors, textures, delicate aromas mingle and swirl in the gentle morning breeze as this new experience begins to form and take shape in your mind. You feel yourself walking, going somewhere, going to get something done. In this dream, you are outside, in the street, and as you walk, you realize that something is different. There's a sense of anticipation, perhaps, as if there were a feeling of change in the air. A softening within, you feel, and fleeting memories of times long past drift in and out of consciousness. And as you wander along this interesting street, you wonder just what it is to be, what it is to live upon this earth, and remember now, in little flashes, bits and pieces, times and places, interactions, hopes and fears and longings, a dreamy feeling still, a sense of some otherworldly expectation. You look around you, yet all seems well, and so continue now along your way. Your focus changes from your own self, away from personal stuff, as you hear a sound. Your focus sharpens. Something here. A child in tears approaches you. He draws near to you and stops, still crying, hands to his face as he looks down to the ground. You instinctively bend down to bring your face to his. The child seems inconsolable, sobbing heavily, in need of comforting. You feel so much love for this little boy. You recognize the clothes that he is wearing as you remember that once, when you were this little boy's age, you wore clothes just like that too. And you notice now, you remember now, that you also used to wear your hair the way this child is wearing his. And you remember feeling inconsolable too, in just the same way that this little boy is feeling now. And it pulls at your heart as you remember feeling those feelings deeply. And you remember why you felt them. You wonder. You ask yourself whether this child is inconsolable for the same reasons that you once were. You ask the little boy about his distress, but he is too upset to speak, and so you lift the child and cuddle him, holding your cheek to his, feeling the tears from his face on your face. You feel his quickened heartbeat, his hurried, shallow breathing, his tight grip around you. And you remember times, very specific times, when you were a little boy, when you felt the same then, and a memory, a deep, deep sense of recognition returns and floods through you. And you feel great love for this child, complete understanding, absolute acceptance. And as you remember this, the child's sobbing begins to subside, his breathing becoming calmer now, his grip on your arm softening, his breathing becoming deeper now, his heartbeat slowing to its natural rhythm, matching yours, beating together now, supporting each other, beating for each other. You take a deep breath, and you ask the child again. You whisper into his ear, "Can you tell me now?" You feel his head nod on your shoulder, and so you place the child back down and sit opposite him, holding his hand, and you ask him to tell you everything. The child looks into your eyes, and he tells you of his upsets and of his fears and of his worries, and of what has happened to him. And as the little boy pours out his heart to you, you recognize each and every word, every feeling, every fear, and every worry. You recognize them so well, because these were exactly the upsets, the fears, and the worries that troubled you so much when you were of much the same age. Indeed, this little boy looks like you did, sounds like you did, understands things as you did, and so you are able to tell him that all of this will turn out well, that his upsets will dissolve, and that all of his fears and all of his worries will come to nothing, that life really is worth living, and it's pointless to worry about a future that it's not possible to know. Is all of that really true? He asks you. Yes, you reply. All of that is really true. He looks into your eyes and asks more questions. So, there aren't really any monsters? None at all, you assure him with a smile. And everything is really going to be all right? he asks further. Yes, you say, reassuringly. Everything really is going to be all right. But how do you know? He asks you. And now, you smile your biggest smile, and you say, because I was once like you. I once felt what you feel now. I once experienced what you're experienced. And I was just as upset and as fearful and as worried as you are now. But I have lived the life that you are just about to live, and I can tell you truly that none of those awful things that you were frightened about in your future will come to pass. In fact, it has all turned out rather well in the end. The child looks at you wide-eyed in amazement, knowing that you have spoken truly. The upset and the worry and the fear leave his face. His features soften, his tears stop, and he is immediately tired, as he naturally would be. You take him in your arms and you carry him to his cot, and you lie him down lovingly there, pulling up the covers, tucking him in. You reassure him again. You put his teddy bear in his arms, and you gently and quietly sing him to sleep. And when you see that he is asleep and breathing properly now, breathing calmly, breathing rhythmically, breathing deeply, you bend down and you place a gentle kiss upon his forehead. The child opens his eyes and smiles at you in a way that melts your heart. You see trust and love and acceptance in that smile, and you know that you and he are both one. The child falls into a deep sleep and dreams peacefully and happily and fully. You have done a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's funny the way this universe works, because, as you know, for every action, there's a reaction, simply because everything is so intimately interconnected. And because you have consoled this child, because you have shown this child your love, and shown this child that all of his upsets, and all of his fears, and all of his worries will come to nothing, and that he now understands that everything works out in the end. You understand, and you realize now too, deeply, and with total clarity and certainty, that all of your own upsets, and all of your own fears, and all of your own worries that you had then, when you were of the same age as this little boy, they came to nothing, and everything really did work out all right in the end. And because of this, as a direct result of this, you can now let go of those fears, let go of those upsets, and let go of those worries. All of them. All those that you have kept holding on to for all of those years can now be let go. You feel them all dissolve away completely now. And you notice now that they no longer serve any meaningful purpose. And simply because they have outgrown their usefulness, they no longer even deserve your attention. As if they were old receipts for forgotten purchases, no longer needed, no longer of any worth to you, no longer of any relevance, of value no longer. And now, since you see that those old fears and worries and upsets are yesterday's news, it's clear to you that they have all passed their sell-by date, and like all things that have passed their sell-by date, you can discard them and feel good about that, feel positive about that, feel relieved about that. And now they are gone. They have left a space that can now be filled. And immediately you notice a new feeling. A younger, vibrant feeling, a wonderful feeling, beginning to form and to grow inside of you, filling up that empty space. And so you look now magically into your own stomach, into your own insides, and you clearly see that all things are beginning to heal. Where there used to be anxiety, now there is a growing peace. You keep looking, and you see that where there once was worry, there now grows glad acceptance. Where there were once upsets, now there appear solutions. Where there once were fears, now a deepening confidence is taking root. That awful tangle of anxiety and stress that you felt within you for so long has gone now, and a comforting, profoundly peaceful feeling of wholeness is gradually taking its place, building, strengthening now, becoming ready to blossom. Just feel that whilst I remain quiet for a minute. You have replaced your stress with love for a little boy who needed that love so much. And because of this, you have a new experience of being comfortably you. And any time in the future were the beginnings of those old feelings ever to return, you will remember this little boy and the love and the reassurance that you gave him. And you will remember that your love for that little boy dissolved your own stress and filled the space it occupied completely with a profound peace. You feel well again. You feel whole again, at last. And your mind and your body are now learning and accepting all of this very deeply, and so permanently now. There is a growing wholeness within, a building of fullness within. Nothing is lacking now. Your own inner child has grown up, and so now you really can feel differently about everything. You feel now, you know that monsters only really exist in the imagination. And so you also know that the imagination can be filled with positive things too. This feeling is now coursing through your entire being, touching each and every cell in your body, bringing this good news to each cell that the light is returning because the dark times are over, that there are no monsters, that all is well, and that all shall be well, and that you have a new ability. Now, you can deal with things as they arise. And with this comes a solid confidence, a confidence that you will take everything in your stride because you no longer see it as sensible to worry about things to come, because you'll cross those bridges when you come to them. You know that you can, and so you will. Yes. You feel profound relief. feel this. Sink into this wonderful relief. So good. You are free at last of that underlying angst that had followed you all of these years. It's gone now, and you know as an absolute certainty that this new feeling of freedom and release is all because of your love. The love that you showed to that little boy. The little boy that reminds you so much of yourself, he may as well even be yourself. So, be yourself. You can be. You are that self. A beautiful and lovely self. A caring and loving self. A happy and contented adult self. Now. And all is well. And all is well. And all is well. And now, you allow yourself to slip into a deep, deep sleep. A healing sleep. A proper sleep. Sleeping now and dreaming untroubled dreams, where you meet each aspect of your remembered, troubled, younger self at different ages, and you console those memories of your younger selves in the same way you consoled that troubled child, smoothing out all of your own difficulties with the knowledge that all has turned out well. You are loved, and you are wonderful, and you are dreaming these dreams now. Dream peacefully. Tonight, you will dream all of these dreams even more deeply and with even more positive effect. Sleep. Dream. Be happy. You are experiencing a deep and deeper still inner healing, a great inner healing. I shall be quiet for a full minute whilst you continue to do that. And so now, feeling healed, feeling whole, you gently, gradually, gladly begin to return to full consciousness, to a life untroubled. You awake to new challenges, filled with optimism and courage, strength and determination. Your eyes open, and you are released and ready for anything. Hello. If you have enjoyed this recording, then if you could kindly subscribe, like, and comment, I would be most grateful. Thank you.